here for? Again, I'm Tom with Leap, and I'll be sharing with you information about Leap and the integrations with both of these partners that some of the most successful contractors are taking advantage of in today's low-touch economy. I'm joined today by Steve Camano, Hover's National Sales Director and an industry-recognized expert in the business of exterior home improvement with a decade in the industry. Prior to Hover, Steve owned an exterior contractor business and was a top roofing salesperson in Western New York. I'm also joined by Rachel, oh boy, I don't want to butcher this, Rachel Rowan. Hope I didn't butcher that for you.
Good job.
Thanks, Rachel. From Job Nimbus, Rachel's been a part of the roofing industry for many years, skipping between marketing and sales, and now she is over 3 verticals of marketing with Job Nimbus. She's a huge believer in keeping roofers efficient and professional with technology, and in her spare time, she's waiting for the next kickoff from the Packers. I'm a Bills fan. Steve's a Jets fan, so we'll reconvene towards the end of the year and see who's ahead.
Perfect. Go Pack.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, I'm going to turn this over to you now. There we go. Take it away.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. Thanks everybody for coming. I am going to, Tom's leading the way right now, so you guys will definitely hear me going, Tom, next slide, please. But this is perfect. I appreciate you guys being on. We really, wanted to come on. We love our partners, and Leap and Hover have been fantastic partners of ours. And so we just wanted to introduce kind of what we are and who we are, and just give you a little background of just some of the key things that we've seen our contractors really utilizing right now in a COVID world that we're living in, right? I mean, everything we want paperless, everything we can't touch, but hey, we've been cruising, and a lot of our roofers have just been super busy this year, and it doesn't seem like storm season's slowing down in any way, shape, or form. So we're definitely here to try to help you get through this in a low touch environment. So many people know Job Nimbus as a CRM, right? So what's a CRM? A customer relationship management tool, right? Where you can do emails and leads, and you can track documents. But really, today, what we're really looking at and how we look at ourselves is really a business solution, right? Our whole goal is to really, these B statements, right? Help our contractors be successful, efficient, professional, organized, profitable. I mean, our whole goal is to make roofers heroes, right? So if we think about it, organization is the best way to keep yourself up, and ready for success. So it allows your employees to stay focused. It allows them to bring forth some of the major issues that they could be coming across to bring up to upper management or maybe office staff. And so it's always allows business owners to be on the top of what is going on within their company, especially even if we think we can't even go into the office right now, right? So let's think about it this way. If, one of the owners or the office staff has a piece of paper sitting on their desk, but we're technically not even supposed to go into the office, how is it efficient to be able to get that paper? It really isn't at this current moment. So really, why is it then that we put it all in the background? We put it into a system, a business solution system, where it's easily accessible, where you can grab it at any time, and you can be able to see what's going on in your business, even at a distance. So it's the best way to organize information is putting it into a back office system like Job Nimbus. And it makes it easy for you to customize fields. It makes it easy for you to find identifiers and figure out what's the most important information. But if we think about it, let's think about when we do open our doors and we can allow people to come back into the office. What does a crazy office look like? And I'm sure Steve knows, he's the director of sales. I used to be the director of sales too. I used to travel all across the nation and sell to roofers. And there were offices that were clean and put together. And then I'd walk into offices where there were papers everywhere. And it was like, well, I know exactly where this is organized, the owner saying, or maybe the office manager saying, but anybody else walking into that office is like, whoa, this is a little cluttered. So when you're throwing everything into a back office system, it's going to allow you to look more professional externally, but it's also going to make you just feel more professional and work more professional with your clients because you're more organized, because you're being more efficient. And obviously, number one thing, it leads to more profit, right? That is our whole goal, is we want to make you guys successful and lead to more revenue. And that's one of the biggest things. You can see this quote here, you know, from Randy Brothers. We've increased our revenue by 300% using Job Nimbus. Right, when you throw yourself and you throw your documents and your business into a back office system, it allows for that efficiency. Tom, would you go to the next slide for me? Awesome, thank you. So really, let's think of it this way. We're partners with Owens Corning as well. And one of the head people of Owens Corning explained Job Nimbus one time, and I just absolutely loved it. He says, Job Nimbus is the nervous system of your business. So let's think of it. What does the nervous system do? Right? If you go and you don't have nerves, let's think about it. My poor dog has gone through surgery and he's lost some nerves on his back, right? So he's running around doing his own thing and he bumps into a wall and he doesn't feel it. And the next thing you know, he's bleeding like a crazy mess and it's just a disaster, right? And let's think about the same thing with us. If we don't have a nervous system, we could cause ourselves a lot of damage, right? Our body's a lot of damage and we'd have no idea. Think about it the same way as your business. A CRM or a business solution like Job Nimbus is going to be the nervous system of your business. It's going to keep everything together. So we're not causing our businesses a lot of pain or destruction because we have these indicators saying, hey, this job has been in this stage for too long. Hey, don't forget to email this customer to make sure that they did the review, right? And a system like Job Nimbus provides you that. It provides you an organization for leads in your calendar and helping your sales move through the pipeline and production. And I mean, the whole shebang. But what's so amazing about a business solution is when you combine it with partners like Leap and Hover, because then it's an entire body of a business moving together. Right? When you combine it with reputation management, measurements, supply ordering, lead gen, marketing, all these different other systems that are out there with you, and they all integrate together, then your business is moving like a fine-oiled machine, right? You can bring in your marketing tools, and your marketing tools can go into Job Nimbus and your leads, and then you go through the whole process, and then you pop it over to Hover for measurements, and then you pop the back into Job Nimbus, and then you're shooting it over to Beacon, right? Think about how efficient that is on the back line. One of my contractors said this and it made so much sense to me. He says, you have to make a straight line from A to B. One system needs to talk to another, that needs to talk to another, that needs to talk to another, that eventually needs to go all the way down to my distributor. And if one of those is out of my line, let's say measurements is not integrated, then even though I might be saving time on the front end, I'm losing that time on the back end because it doesn't work in a straight line. So that's one thing that Job Nimbus really prides ourselves is playing well in the sandbox with other companies. We want to partner with these great companies so we can create this line of efficiency for you. So Tom, next slide, please. So yeah, just keep in mind again, one of the biggest things with Job Nimbus is a customizable workflow. And we're going to go into that. I'm going to pull out two specific things that I've seen my contractors really loving right now. But the key thing is just remember that with a back office system, you're going to decrease your overhead costs. Your employees are saving on average about 8 hours a week using Job Nimbus. And that's just per employee, not just in total, per employee, just because it's so simple to use and you can expedite a lot of that. On top of that, decrease pipeline waste. Let's think about it. You know, have you ever had a job fall through the cracks? You know, think about it hypothetically, you know, don't put it into the chat or anything, but I would say probably the majority of roofing companies I've worked with has had a job fall through the cracks at one point in time. And that is money left out of your pocket. And when you have a back office system like Job Nimbus, then it's allowing you to keep all of that in line. You can keep an eye on those types of things. You're increasing your sales reps' efficiency. The more they can sell, the more money in your pockets and the company, but also the more money in their pockets, right? Which means happy salespeople, the more that they can get going and the more that they can push through the pipeline. But we also just have the ability to keep it consistent. We have automations, which we're going to touch on. And again, the key is increasing that professionalism. So next slide, please. So the first thing we're going to go over today is boards. Okay, so boards we love here at Job Nimbus. And one of the most important things and why we love it so much is we really want roofers to have Job Nimbus customized to them and their workflow. So whenever we have a new client come on, we, require them, hey, sit back, think about your workflow, think about the process, how you guys are selling, how you go into production, how your financials are working. Think about these things. And then let's build out Job Nimbus to be what you guys are doing. So we would rather it be customizable to your specific company versus we have a bubble and we say, hey, you got to fit into this. And forcing roofing owners and presidents to actually sit down and say, oh, whoa, let me think about this process. It helps them really scope that out and get it into a very feasible, easy way and easy to chew, digestible system within their company. And what you're seeing right here is just different boards. Now this is 4, right? But we can do as many as your company needs. So I have a solar company right now who has 20 different boards because they break their system down from Sunrun to Vivint to all these different companies that they might be working with in financial partners. So really, it just depends on you and it depends on what your company needs. And that's one of the biggest selling points of Job Nimbus is just the boards and the customization that we can provide you. Next slide, please. And really, it's as easy as dragging and dropping. So once you jump into one of those boards, this is really what it's going to look like. And you're going to have your different stages of, let's say, production, right? Or sales. And you're going to have your different stages. You're going to have your leads or your contacts or homeowners in that information. And you are going to be able to drag them and drop them through the different processes or the different stages that they are in. Again, this portion is completely customizable as well. But what's nice too is if you see that little time frame on the side that says 245, now mind you, this is a demo account, but it will tell you how many days that specific homeowner has been in that stage. So let's say we might be waiting for a contract signed by the homeowner, or we might be waiting for, I don't know, measurements or something on those lines. And we're going, man, that's a little bit late, right? It normally moves a little bit faster than that. We can go ahead and we can very easily, quickly see that and go, all right, what's going on? Hey, why, to the sales rep, why haven't we gotten this signed yet? Why is it being held up in this specific stage? And it just really, again, gives us that transparency within the business of exactly where these jobs are at. Next, please. And last one I want to talk to you about is automations. We talk about this quite a bit within Job Nimbus, but I think why I really wanted to bring this one to the forefront is we've been talking to a lot of customers lately, and automations continues to come up of just how easy this is. So let's think about it. Think about not having to think about it, right? How funny is that? Like, I can't even tell you how many times, literally today, my VP was like, Rach, did you email Phil? And I'm going, oh crap, right? I didn't email him. I totally forgot about it. So let's think about automating something like that. Automating reminders. Hey, you have to do this, okay, to pop something up. Automating moving a customer to another board. Okay, contract has been signed, it automatically shoots into the production board. So you don't even have to do that. Let's think about automating an email, right? So one of my contractors I was talking to last week said they automated every single email going out of their system. And what they do is that at every different stage of the process with the homeowner, so contract is signed, email goes out. Thank you so much. We appreciate your business. This is the next step to the process. Okay, they go through that next process, production. Thank you again. We've made it through the production time. Just so you are aware, Beacon is going to be dropping off the supplies. We will be there at 6 a.m. What does that make them do? It makes them look professional. It keeps that homeowner up to date and gives them all of that information right there without them having to worry about it, without the office staff having to do that or the sales guy remembering it. Okay, it's going to allow you to automate. Really, the sky's the limit within our system. You tell it what you want to automate and it will automate for you. And what does that do? Again, it's going to help it so that nothing falls through the cracks, like what happened with me this morning, right? It's going to help it so your sales guys can just continue to work through. Once it's already signed, then it can pop over into production, and then all of a sudden production and office staff and everybody else can automatically start working on their stuff. It's going to make you look professional within your customers. So there's so many different things that automations can provide you. And like I said, it's customizable. So you tell it what you need. So those are really the two features within Job Nimbus that I've seen a lot of our contractors using nowadays, with it being a low touch and in the COVID world. So definitely, if you're a Job Nimbus user and you're not using this, definitely get in touch with our customer service. We can teach you how to set up these automations so that you're using them on the back end. And if you are not a Job Nimbus user, reach out to us and we can show you everything that we can provide for your business. So Tom, that is all for me, sir.
Awesome, thank you. That's great. I want everybody to hold that thought, because what I want to do here is show you how these platforms communicate and do, to Rachel's point, simplify and automate the daily life. So if you're not familiar with Leap, just a high level overview, Leap's a point of sale application digitizing every stage of the in-home sales experience. So this includes helping you create documents like surveys and assessments, importing measurements to generate estimates in seconds, storing your sales material, such as like manufacturer brochures, before and after photos, videos, links, sales presentations, those things, accounting for financing costs, submitting applications, and of course, creating one-of-a-kind proposals and ironclad contracts to help you win the job. So one thing I want to talk about here first is really how that communication happens. And so when you open up Leap, you have the ability, let's see if I click play here, that would help, to click on customer. And what happens here is that all the leads for that sales rep are right there in their calendar for them. So they'll click on that customer, they can verify the information, and now you've got that customer's information right within Leap. So now you don't have to, as a sales rep, manually enter that information. I've known Steve for quite a while, and he has a good story about how he went to work for a roofing company, and they were entering customers' information 27 times from start to finish. And I'm sure he can tell that story better. But what this does is really helps, right? You put that information into Job Nimbus, and it's going to carry throughout the entire process of this lead or this customer journey. Next thing I want to show you here is, maybe I've got the same slide twice. Let's see. So creating an estimate. So once you do have that customer information in there, you simply click tools, you click on hover, you can put in the address, or if you're at a customer's home, the address would be there, click done, and very quickly because of the templates you have set up, you're able to generate an estimate. So I don't know what that took, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, but it's really that easy. Again, as a sales rep, I don't have to manually put in any of those measurements. I'm simply pulling the data from Hover. It's going in there into a measure sheet, and I've now got my pricing. Next thing I want to show you, what's really neat about this integration with Hover is that it'll actually pull in the PDF with all the measurements as well as the 3D model. And I'm certainly not going to steal Steve or Hover's time here, but I'll show you real quickly how that looks in here. So they're clicking on, that 3D model that was pulled in when they selected Hover. And again, now you can increase professionalism, go through all the different benefits of having that PDF with the measurements, being able to showcase Hover's 3D model and, change material and show measurements and all those type of things that increase your professionalism as a contractor. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Steve with Hover so he can tell you more about Hover. And then when Steve's done, I'll take it back and show you where we go from there utilizing the Leap platform. So
thanks, Tom.
Click Steve, yep. And actually, I'm going to pass the ability for you to share your screen here so that you can show us. Give me 1 second. Steve Camano. Make Steve presenter. All right, Steve, you've got control.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you and see you. Thank you.
Great, great. So in simplest terms, Hover essentially transforms smartphone photos of any property into an accurate interactive 3D model and provides detailed measurements. I'm going to give a quick overview here. I'm logged into the web app. I've gone to hover.to. I've logged in with my credentials. I can see all the previous properties that I've captured and submitted. When I dive into a specific job here, I'm going to show you the photos that were submitted by an end user. It's a very simple process. The mobile app essentially guides you through a very simple process of submitting the photos for all 4 sides and all 4 corners of the property. From that image set there, we're able to reconstruct that property accurately in 3D. I'll bring your attention to the fact that we're able to differentiate all the different textures on the property. You're noticing the stone on the front, the shake in the gables, and the dormers in the front, the lap siding on the other areas of the property, and a very, very detailed, accurate representation of what the structure actually looks like. In the top of the screen, you're noticing 2 main icons here. We have the ability to populate measurement data right here in this view. When I click on roof segments, all of my roof measurements, all of the major line segments on the roof are populated. You can spin, you can zoom in and out accordingly as you need to. Same for siding. All of the siding areas of the property are now populating dimensions very accurately to the nearest inch, saving you a tremendous amount of data gathering while in the field. We're able to break down all the individual textures on the property. If I were to select stone section 7, it's going to bring me to that stone section. It's telling me here that that's 6 square feet, and it's showing me all of the major line segments. We'll do that for all of the individual wall areas. So you can see here, siding area number 9 is 33 square feet. We're able to break out the different types of siding that exist. For example, siding area number 7 here, which is shake, is 45 square feet. We're able to quantify all the different textures that are on the property. The roof on this structure is, the siding on this structure is 3,210 square feet for the horizontal siding. The roof is 3,116 square feet, made up of all the areas that are currently highlighted. A very relevant data point here in soffit. The soffit is 672 square feet, made up of the eaves, the rakes, porch ceilings, and cantilevers. And we'll be able to break down all the different textures on the property, such as the shake, which is 165 square feet on the front of the home. Following that, we're going to provide all of the window and door schedules here. Window number 3 is a 27 by 57 window. You would never order off of these dimensions, but it's a very accurate data point to be able to propose price for replacement. Beyond that, you have a digital measurement tool, which will allow you the ability to click on 2 points on the actual model itself and understand what the distance between those 2 points is. Moving on to the design icon, I can show you a little bit about the visualization efforts here that will help your consumer understand what the outcome's actually going to look like. So if we wanted to show this consumer what a GAF roof would look like on their home in Timberline, American Harvest, Amber Wheat, you're noticing we can very quickly show a consumer what that looks like. The design experience can go much further than that. We actually have the ability to select individual roof sections, as I'm doing here, and we're able to change that to a different product. Let's say I wanted to put a metal accent roof and standing seam and autumn red to give the consumer a digital representation of what that would look like on their home. You can do that same level of design with the siding on the property. If I wanted to change all the horizontal siding to mastic, carvewood, and in English redwood, I could do that in a matter of a few clicks. Very simple experience here. You have the ability to share this with a customer by sending them a public link. The public link will not expose them to any measurement information. It will only grant them access to the design functionality. Along with that 3D model, you'll get an array of different exports. There's a very detailed PDF document, which will contain all of the summarized measurements that have been extracted from that property. You're going to get very, very detailed wireframes that are essentially labeling each individual aspect of the property and helping you understand how we come up with all of the measurements in the summary report. Moving forward, we have an Excel export, we have XML and JSON exports, we have SketchUp and CAD, along with Xactimate readable files that can be leveraged in a variety of different use cases. Going back to the deck here, with the current COVID circumstances, the no-touch models and workflows have become very relevant. As you can understand, Job Nimbus in our integration will really facilitate this no-touch model and workflow experience so that organizations can engage a consumer without necessarily having to go out to their property. So there's two main workflows that we've been seeing. There's what we call the no-touch remote here on the top side of the screen here. We have a no-touch on-site, which is more similar to what the workflow is today in current state. And just to give a quick rundown on the no-touch remote, essentially this is a proposal that's provided without ever stepping foot on the property. You're actually engaging the homeowner in the photo capture process, leveraging a functionality we at Hover call Hover Connect. I'll show you how that works momentarily. Essentially what you do is you invite the homeowner, they have the ability to capture the photos of the property within the Hover experience, and then you can re-engage with the consumer to hopefully transact business in a remote setting. Alternatively, the no-touch onsite, which is actually more common, it's more similar to what the common process was prior to COVID, which consists of a rep going out to the property and capturing the photos in lieu of the homeowner capturing them. In this no-touch onsite, there is no face-to-face engagement between the sales rep and the consumer. The rep is simply out there to capture photos of the existing conditions within the property and to submit their Hover submission so that they can extract the model and the measurement information they need to propose price in a digital remote type of setting. So to give a little bit more insight on how that Connect solution works, here you can see a very simple experience within the mobile app where you can enter the property owner's name, their email, their mobile phone number, and you can very quickly send them an invitation. The consumer is going to receive an invitation via both email and text, and very quickly they can click on download the app and move into this very simple experience where they simply enter their email, their name, and they're off to the races to capture the 8 photos of their property. This has been a very effective workflow. We at Hover are committed to providing you a ton of resources to help you actually embrace this with our partners here on the line. We have a remote engagement guide, which is incredibly detailed. This remote engagement guide will go through potential scripts that you can be using. We have, scripts that can be used on the initial engagement. We have potential responses. We have a ton of resources in terms of scripts that can be leveraged when a consumer is canceling an appointment because they don't want to have an in-person appointment. We also have a homeowner frequently asked questions section here that can be leveraged when you're sending your customer a Connect invite as well. Tom, that's all I have. I just wanted to put this information up on the screen as well so that everyone can get a hold of us if necessary. We really appreciate the opportunity to participate in the webinar, and I will hand this back over to you.
Awesome, thanks, Steve. Take that back, show my main screen, there we go. Awesome, cool, that's really great. I'd encourage everybody, I know I've seen some questions come through, if you have questions about Hover, about Job Nimbus, things that you've seen so far, don't wait until the end. Go ahead and type them in now. And once we get to the Q&A section, we'll make sure that they get answered. So thanks, Steve. I want to continue on here and just kind of close out the sale, if you will. And so Steve showed some of the benefits of utilizing Hover, obviously for measurements and for engagement with the customer. So once you've have the measurements, you've utilized the 3D model. Generally speaking, a sales rep is going to go into one of several stages, whether it's creating a proposal, creating a contract, offering financing. So one of those things I want to show you here is the credit application portion, and this is really cool within Leap. We've partnered with 6 or 7 different lenders and giving you the ability to really streamline your application process. And so what happens here is all the information that you've already entered in, albeit for the customer information, the estimate, all those types of fields will carry over into the credit application portion. And so when you click on a lender, one of the lenders that you have a relationship with, that we integrate with, their credit application will be brought into Leap so that you can fill out these fields. You see the ones in red are ones that you need to still get information for, whereas the other ones were already filled in from previous parts of the sales presentation. So it makes it really easy to capture that homeowner's information, submit that credit app, and get that instant approval. Now, if you submit it to a lender who maybe is a first look lender and you don't get approval, one of the nice things is that when you click on one of the other lenders, say a second look lender, that information will then carry back over into that lender's credit application. Now, each lender has some different requirements and things they need, so there may be some information that you haven't entered yet that you'd want to for that lender, but any information that you did in one application will carry over into the next. What some of the companies that are utilizing this have done is actually created just a generic credit application that encompasses the fields of the different lenders that they utilize. So there may be one lender that needs monthly income. There may be one lender that needs, job information. So what they'll do is compile all that, make one application, and now once you've captured that information from the customer, you can very easily click on the lender that you want to send it to and send their required information. If you don't get an approval, you can then do the same thing with the next lender. So that way it flows very seamlessly through there. So once you've gotten that approval or denial, the next step in this would be to generate a proposal or a contract. So what I've showed here is how easy it is to generate a contract. And if you think of an accordion, that's really how this document generation works. We're being very specific about it's a roofing job. We want the payment terms. We want to include the Hover report in there. And what you'll see here is once I've clicked on these documents, it's actually brought in the photos from Hover, which is great. And then I can go in here and do all my payment details, job costs, deposits. Now, if there was financing with this job, all that information would carry over here, so you wouldn't be entering this in. But again, this is a demo account, so that's not all there. There's also, of course, the ability to capture credit card information. And I think I put my actual credit card number in here, so feel free to write that down. I'm just kidding. But then what this will do is actually tokenize that credit card information so that it's securely stored in a third party, and you're able to run transactions, whether you collect a third, or you half down and half on completion. You can instead of having to go out and get that information again from the customer, you're able to just run their card. And then from there, you just click create document. It creates a beautiful PDF here that you see, and flipping through this contract. But again, Hover photos are in there that you took with the job, so that's all carrying through here. Click sign. Nice thing is, when you're in person, obviously you sign this on a tablet, you and the homeowner. If you have a workflow that's remote, like how Steve was mentioning, you can very easily take advantage of remote signature capabilities and send this via DocuSign to get signed. So a couple different options there. A lot of contractors today that are doing a hybrid of in-person and remote are leveraging technologies like Zoom and others, Google Hangouts, Skype, all those to present remotely and capture signatures and payment information and all those things that you would normally do in person. So I'm just going to finish. I signed all the documents here. I click send. What I can do here is attach different brochures. So maybe I want to attach a roofing brochure, a siding brochure for the future, click send, and now all the documents have gone back to Job Nimbus. They've gone back to the home office, maybe to the homeowner, maybe to the sales manager. And then from there, the last step is resulting the lead. So we know as a sales rep, that's one of those steps. It's not a money making step, right? It's not one of where I'm actually selling. It's doing the paperwork. And so this is where sometimes that as a former sales rep, the ball gets dropped, right? What we've done is made it really simple. They click results in the bottom right hand corner, toggle on the sale button, click that it was sold, fill in any of the required fields, that'll actually map back into Job Nimbus. And now the sales rep is able to easily result that lead and move on to their next appointment. So you'll see here, for instance, on the notes, put homeowners out of town through Labor Day. Just something simple, but again, things that can carry back over into Job Nimbus, as Rachel was saying, that really allow you to streamline this entire process. Awesome. So I know went through that rather quickly, but wanted to make sure that we left time for questions. Rachel, Steve shared some really great information. Before I jump into the questions, I just want to give Rachel and Steve both an opportunity if they wanted to add anything. So Rachel, I'll let you start.
Nothing really adding. It's just, as you guys can see, once you, again, that straight line, once you combine all of your technologies and they all work together, you can just see how Tom showed you just how simple that process is and just how much more streamlined your business can be with adding those technologies that talk to one another. So it's a huge benefit for you.
Yeah, thank you. Steve, I don't know if you had any comments before we jump into the questions.
Nothing in particular on my end. It's really been a pleasure to work with both Job Nimbus and Leap. It's a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to engaging with folks after this call.
Awesome, great. There's a bunch of questions in here, so let me try to get through them here. First question, will there ever be the ability to trigger a job to move stages? And Rachel, I'm assuming this is for you, based on a contract. Let me reread this. Will there ever be the ability to trigger a job to move stages based on a contract being signed or a material order being sent or an invoice being zeroed out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to think, will there ever be, repeat it one more time for me.
Yeah. Will there ever be the ability to trigger a job to move stages based on a contract being signed or a material order being sent or an invoice being zeroed out?
So in regards to it being signed, it needs to trigger something within your board. So whether it's an automation where, let's say, the trigger or it is signed and then you guys move it to signed contract, and then an automation can trigger to take something, take that job into a different section. So it has to have some kind of trigger like that on the system. Automations, really, we can automate anything and everything. So the key thing is, though, is that it has to be that way every single time, right? So you're talking about zeroing out something. If there is a way where, let's say, you don't do that once, that automation won't trigger, right? So it really has to be something where you guys are planning on doing this every single time, and it's going to be done the exact same way for that automation to work. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, appreciate it. Certainly way above my comprehension abilities. So thank you. I did get a couple questions in here. First one was like, what is the cost of Hover? And then I got, what is the cost for all three? So just at a high level, certainly everybody can expand upon that, but Leap is a per user per month subscription, and pricing can vary based on a number of factors. So I'd encourage you to shoot us an email or reach out. Steve, if you want to talk about Hover's pricing at a high level.
Yeah, very quickly. We charge transactionally based on the complexity of the structure. There's two outputs. There's a roof only or a complete, which includes the roofing, siding, and the full 3D model that I demoed today. For more information, happy to dive into it after this call.
Yeah, thanks. And Rachel, if you want to just address that at a high level.
Yeah, absolutely. Same as Leap, we're per user per month. We do have some add-ons that you can do. So very similar to Leap, you know, if you add certain automations or you add certain integrations, it's going to change that price. But your baseline price is about $35 per user per month.
Awesome, thanks. And again, I'm going to, we're still in the Q&A portion here, but I just want to go ahead and make sure that I put the contact information up so that if you do have those type of questions or any other questions that are really in depth, please reach out. We're happy to, you know, each of us talk about the solutions and how they function and all those type of things. I did get another question, and selfishly, this one's for Leap. Could you please walk through the process of sending a document to be signed? That's really simple, actually. If you back in my the last slide, you simply click on where it said DocuSign, and that will you'll select the homeowner's email address, and that will send that document to the homeowner to have it signed, just as you would if you're familiar with DocuSign, how you would you know, send an envelope for any other kind of a document. Just it's automated in there, so it's built into where it'll automatically send it. Once it's signed, it'll send it back into wherever you've set that destination for the document to go, and it could be multiple places. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see what else. How customizable is Job Nimbus? I guess, Rachel, that's one for you.
Completely. I guess a little bit more context, but yeah, I mean, think about it this way. All of the terminology on your boards, whatever you want, that's you. All of the terminology inside of the boards, completely you. Literally, it's kind of funny. My director of sales says, if you want to track the fact that all of your homeowners in, let's say, DFW who have brown eyes, you can do that. So it's kind of a little weird, but one of the things he did say that's super cool, customizable thing is, like, let's say you're in the DFW area and you want to track a specific section that gets hit with hail a lot, and you want to know everybody in that section who has GAF timberline shingles in a specific color. Like, literally, you can get it that customizable, so that then if another storm, you can contact those people and say, hey, we have shingles in stock, you know, let us come out and take care of this. So really, anything and everything, you could put templates in, you know, all of that. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Again, if you have any specific questions, and if you're not a user, reach out to us, because my sales team can go over and show you exactly where we're talking about with customization. And if you are a user, reach out to that customer support team, and they can help you with all of that.
Awesome, thank you. I got another question. Deborah, you'll have to apologize, and maybe if I don't answer this, let me know, but her question was, can this be used for interior? So Steve, that may be a hover question. Leap can certainly be used for interior. It's a point of sale application, so anything that you're doing at the point of sale, you can utilize Leap for. But Steve, I'll maybe toss that one to you, as it may be directed to hover.
Yeah, on the hover front, we're currently only servicing exteriors, but interiors is certainly something that's on our roadmap, not currently available today.
Awesome, appreciate that. All right, well, I think that's most of the questions. I got a couple very specific detailed ones, so I will send those to Rachel and Steve to get further clarification. But again, I want to thank everybody for joining the webinar. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to us. The emails, web addresses, and phone numbers are on the screen. But I think here we can give you, looks like, about 10 minutes back to your day. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, we'll send out an email with a recording for this. But thank you for joining. Appreciate it.